Are we live? Are we live? Hello, welcome along to this week's live. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just double checking because you all know I need to double check. Right, are we live? Yep, it looks like we are live. Fantastic. Um, how are we, team? Sorry about the blurred background. Long story short, I keep getting booted around the flat. We have a housemate in our office at the moment. So all of my videos are basically from a different location. And I just think it's weird to have my bed in the background. But now you know it's my bed, I probably shouldn't have said anything. I mean, it's a bit obvious, isn't it? But yeah, I thought I'd go on the blurred background. Ugh. Um, just thought it was a bit strange. So anyway, welcome along to this video training on how to diet the right way to avoid perfectionism, right, throughout the holidays, because I know it is an absolute freaking nightmare trying to navigate weight loss, health improvement, feeling better, feeling energized all the way through the holidays, especially when you've not left work yet. I think the energy pretty much comes from like those days um, just before the holidays, maybe the days that you've got off work. Those days are generally the days that we do feel energized, but that's only because we're not working, right? We're excited for the holidays, but how do we do and manage and navigate the lead up? It is difficult. So I'm Bianca, in case you didn't know. I'm that plant-based weight loss coach. I help women achieve their dream life and health through lifestyle, habit change, and plant-based nutrition. And with the holidays coming up, of course, I know the days that we've got. We've got 22 days left until Thanksgiving. We've got 54 days until Christmas, 61 days until New Year's. But the problem is that statistically, 80 to 90% of New Year's resolutions fail. Okay. Now, why is this? Now, the holiday season is so crazy, is so hectic that by the time New Year's comes around, we're still not over it. We're still not ready to settle into our new lives. And often or not, we have all positive intentions, but the problem is our New Year's resolutions, we just set them and we're like, hey, you know, throwing spaghetti at the wall, I'm going to lose 10 stone and I'm going to go on this health kick. But the problem is it's like hindsight, right? As soon as you get to the end of January, the end of February, you realize that what you thought you had, like the time, the energy, the effort, you didn't have. So what I want to do is I don't want to get you to go into 2024 in a negative. I want to get you to the best possible place to get you set up for 2024. Now, I don't want you to be the very small percentage, that 10 to 20% of people that don't achieve their New Year's resolutions, but I also don't want you to wait until then to start. A lot of people decide, oh, it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving, it's New Year's. Do you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to give it up. But the problem is you're then setting yourself up to already be in a negative, in a deficit for your health, for your weight. Well, it's obviously a surplus, but you're already operating at a worse place than what you're at now. And if you think that you've struggled over the last few months, boy, you're going to struggle on New Year's. So my point, what I'm trying to get at right now, is that you need to start now, today, yesterday, and just improve 1%. Now, the best way to avoid perfectionism through the holidays is just to stay focused, okay? Just to keep going. So today I want to give you some really good tips, some really constructive not criticism, that's the wrong word, some really good constructive points to base your weight and health around over the holiday season. So that one, you are able to enjoy the holiday season, right? I don't want you to not enjoy it. I don't want you to not enjoy a mince pie or some alcohol, right? Because I would be the biggest fucking hypocrite here. I love a drink on Christmas Day. In fact, I love a few drinks on Christmas Day. I'm not going to lie to you. I love a big roast dinner. I love the desserts and the mince pies and everything that comes with it. But it doesn't mean that my health goes completely out the window. And that's because I don't stick to perfectionism throughout the holidays. Now, the problem is with the holiday season is it's so crazy, it's so hectic that we kind of just hustle and bustle all the way through. And we end up getting to the other side just absolutely defeated, depleted, both of them. And sorry about me shuffling around. And the Christmas and holiday season, festive season, whatever, it can be difficult to deal with because we've got different factors that are influencing, right? We've got food. Now, food is suddenly freaking everywhere. It's gonna feel like it's all up in your face, everywhere you go, everywhere you look, everything that you hear, everything that you smell. There's going to be an increase of food and an increase, therefore, of food awareness. So, all of a sudden, our issues, our cravings, our responses are going to be kind of thrown in our faces a little bit more because there is more food available to us. Now, stress is always so high. I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to go Christmas shopping, which is I guarantee you is probably going to be about 99% of you, if you've ever gone Christmas shopping, it is stressful. If you've ever had to cook for the family, it is stressful. If you've ever had to deal with your family, sometimes they can also be stressful too. So it is a high stress season, even though it's supposed to be a low stress season. What happens when we're stressed? Well, often we turn to food and alcohol, and there is a big problem there. Now, we might get overwhelmed as well. Sometimes we say to ourselves, hey, I'm going to go on this diet. I'm going to be good. I'm not going to eat too much food. I'm not going to eat any of the roast dinner. I'm not going to eat any of this, not eat any of that. And then before you know it, you've applied too many rules, too much to consider. And then we get into the state of overwhelm. To top it off, we might have some other influences on our overwhelm. Maybe we're overwhelmed with the amount of food on our plate, overwhelmed with the social life that we've got going on, with all the presents. Everything stacks up with overwhelm. And again, it's our coping mechanism that is broken, that sucks with it too. Then we have another issue on our hands of over restriction or overindulgence. I don't know many people that, especially that want to lose weight or want to stay slim, who don't struggle with the over restriction or overindulgence. What I'm saying is, if you're someone who wants to lose weight, you're either going to be extra over restrictive or you're more than likely going to give in, say, fuck it, throw in the towel. It's the festive season. I'll just start in January. And then we overindulge. Now, the problem with this, again, is we're then going to put ourselves in that deficit. We're going to be in a worse position than what we have been all year round. Did you notice that 2023 absolutely flew by? Fuck knows where it went. I have no idea. But look, what's happened is we are still in the same position, still in the same situation. We're still wanting to lose weight. We're still struggling with life. We're still struggling to cope with our emotions that doesn't involve food. We're still struggling to comfort ourselves, right? We're still struggling to manage our hormones, balance our hormones. There are so many things that we're still struggling to do because 2023 just freaking flew past. I honestly have no idea how we're here in November. Honestly, have no freaking clue. So with the speed that it's gone through, it's gone past, you're gonna be in the same situation. Now, if we over restrict ourselves, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get to January, we're then gonna over restrict ourselves even more because of our New Year's resolutions. And when we over restrict ourselves, we often end up in the opposite state. We end up restricting ourselves so much that we throw in the towel, we give it all in, and we end up overindulging. So that would be pretty much the side effect of over restriction through the festive season. But then we've got the overindulgence. And again, I'm just going by typically what happens. This might not necessarily happen for you, but this is what happens for most people. Maybe we throw in the towel and we say, hey, it's a festive season. Hey, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, just going to drink more, just going to eat more, and then I'll sort it out the other side. Or we go in without a specific plan, a little secret on the tip there, or we go in without a specific plan and we end up overindulging anyway, because again, there's so much around. Now, the festive season is difficult, but also we want to try and avoid that perfectionism. So how do we find a fine line between watching our health, watching our weight, being good, right? Being good, but also enjoying ourselves. On that note of being good, I just want to go on a little caveat here for a second. I mentioned, was it last week? I've mentioned in a training before. No, it was in my content last week, this week. I mentioned that we are not a dog, right? We don't need to use treats or cheats to punish or reward ourselves. We don't need to use food like a dog to learn tricks, right? We don't need to use food to treat ourselves. The problem is we're so used to doing it that even just the idea of that might be very difficult to fathom. But like that, I want you to think that you're not going to be on Santa's bad list if you eat a bad food, right? Foods aren't on his good or bad list. So very similar point, just a different season. So I want you to just be extremely mindful of the way that you talk about food as well. Food is not inherently good or bad, okay? The problem when we say good or bad, we then start sticking connotations, associations, and then those associations end up leading to feelings and emotions, which then feeds into our reactions. So that boils down our reactions, which are generally negative to negative thoughts. Let me know if that makes sense. Hi, Brenda. Nice of you to join us. Yes, I did that. I just checked on the comments. Yes, I did that. What did I say? I can't remember what I said. Let me know. Okay. So, did you over restrict or overindulge? Is that what you said? Yes, I did that too, Brenda. Let me know. Going back to my notes. So, problems with the holiday season is the excess food everywhere in our eyesight, in smelling distance, everywhere, right? High stress environments, high stress time. We're all on a time crunch, right? We are dealing with a lot of stress. Then we've got the overwhelm of everything, which feels extremely stressful. Then we've got the typical over restriction or overindulgence. Now, what does this lead to? Well, the holiday season then ends up with us usually and typically gaining weight, right? There's not many people, especially in this group, and I'm not just saying that to be mean or nasty, but we are here because we have struggled at some point to deal with emotions, to deal with food, and to eat food in the right way consistently, right? So typically, as a whole, as a population, as a community, we're going to gain weight through Christmas. Now, again, like I said, that leads to being in the negative by New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day or in January, which is basically putting you back by 3 months just for the sake of a single decision of eating the right thing or not, because it's a festive season. It's a festive season, it's just an excuse. Okay, now that is something that we need to break down. Why is it an excuse? I won't go into it because that is heavy coaching, and I don't want to do that on group setting. I'd rather do that in a personal setting. So let me know if you need that at all. So we're going to typically gain weight. We're going to feel shit for it, right? We're going to feel guilty. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. Oh, I shouldn't have drunk all of that. Then there's the shame that kicks in, right? Have you ever eaten an excess of food, felt guilty, felt shame? Have you ever felt stressed from overeating, right? Oh no, how am I going to work this off? Now I'm going to have to punish myself. Now I'm going to have to do some ridiculous exercises to work this off. I'm disappointed in myself. How many times have you said that you're disappointed in yourself because you've overeaten, overindulged throughout the holiday season? I don't want you to be in this negative by New Year's Eve, right? Overeating, overindulging, just feeling crap, it's gonna affect your gut. It's gonna throw it off. Probably gonna feel a little bit inflamed, heavier, slower. It's not gonna be great on your joints. But then we go into something that's very different, something that I don't really talk about much. We then go into expectations. What I'm talking about here is often this time of year, we think it's about giving. We think it's about pleasing other people and making other people happy. But often what it boils down to is us putting the expectation of someone reacting a certain way so we feel good about ourselves. Hear me out here. So hear me out here. Imagine giving someone a gift or making someone some food or bringing food to the table. I want you to ask yourself if people's reactions are the most important thing for you, or the actual doing and the prepping is the most important thing for you. Now, there's one way that you're going to determine this. Imagine that the people that you were giving this to were not happy, not excited. How would that make you feel? And the reason why I'm talking about this is because expectations play a huge part, and it's like that domino effect again, on our mental and our physical health. Often we put these ginormous expectations that other people are going to smile, be happy, dance around at the gifts, at the food, at the alcohol that we provide them. But often enough, we think that it's a genuine move, a genuine, kind act. But often it is more to receive validation. Now, the reason why I talk about this is because, like I said, if we don't get that validation, if we don't get what we expected, sometimes we feel let down by people's reactions and responses. And this happens a lot over the Christmas period. So this is what I'm talking about this. And what happens then is if we're let down, disappointed, is we often turn to the excess food, the excess alcohol to numb us out, to feel better. So what we have done is we have placed the expectation or the responsibility for someone to react in a way that inflates our ego. This is just true for most people, that to inflate our ego, but it is their responsibility to inflate our ego. That's not okay. What we need to do is start learning how to make ourselves feel better without having to give, without having to slave away in the kitchen and then feel let down. Another example that's not necessarily gift giving is, let's say, for example, you made all of this food and then you knew that someone probably wouldn't turn up and then they didn't and you felt disappointed. You are then putting disappointment first as an emotion because you put the expectation on them that they would make you feel good by turning up. For some of you, this may feel a long shot. For some of this may be confusing. So please let me know in the comments if you're with me still, if you're learning something. So with Christmas, with Thanksgiving, with this time of year, it's really important to understand that we have the responsibility to make ourselves feel better and not put that responsibility on other people's shoulders. One, because it is not fair on them. And two, we cannot control how they react. You cannot control how someone's going to react and respond. You can only control your responses. So learn how to love yourself, learn how to make yourself feel better without silently placing that responsibility on other people. Now, before I give you some really juicy, good practical tips on how to get through the holiday season without this bullshit perfectionism that holds us back, I just want to let you know that before I give you these out of box ideas, I want to remind you that if you sign up before December, you get a 3 months worth of coaching. So a 3 months worth of coaching is roughly valued at about over £160, or 193 US dollars. So if you want that, and I mentioned it on the last week's live, if you want that, I want you to just comment call under this training in the comments before December 2023, and we can jump on that call. We'll go from there. Doesn't just because you write call doesn't mean that you are committing to anything. I need to make sure that you are in the right space and the right person to coach and to be coached. So just because you write the call in the comments doesn't mean that you will be committing. So just to make the most of that, just type in the word call before December 2023 and we can get you that 3 months worth of coaching. So here are your few tips to diet the right way through the holidays and avoid that bullshit perfectionism. So number one, I want you to plan your food every single day ahead of time. So what this does is it gives you an expectation of what you're going to have. Now, if you want Christmas pudding and you know that there's Christmas pudding available, then you put the goddamn Christmas pudding on your plan. The idea is not it to be a diet plan. The idea is it's to be your expectation plan. After time, by January, by February, if you get used to doing this as a habit, you're going to be able to ingrain it so hard that you know that you're not going to want that food. Now, what this does is it shows you that you can practice commitment to yourself, that you can love yourself, and that you can stick to what you want to do for yourself. What we also do slowly over time is reduce the food that you have because you then trust that your judgment is the right judgment for you. So, over the Christmas and festive season, I want you to plan your food every single day ahead of time. Some of you are going to be like, well, what am I going to do? Because I'm going around my sister's, I'm going around my auntie-in-law's place for Thanksgiving. Well, what I want you to do is plan the best that you can do. Granted, you're not going to be able to plan everything, especially around Christmas time. I know that. But if you want a handful of crisps today or tomorrow, I want you to put it on your plan for a handful of crisps tomorrow. Okay? So all we're doing now is just creating a plan that is doable for you. Tip number 2, I want you to understand your expectations. Now, like I said, we can't all put the responsibility of feeding and inflating our egos into other people's hands. So I want you to understand where your expectations lie. Are your expectations in the people and your family and friends turning around and basically thanking you and making you feel good for giving, right? Acknowledge where this happiness comes from. Is it in their response, or is it in the going out, the shopping, the wrapping? Where does your happiness come from? If it comes from both, I still want you to work on that secondary part of that happiness and work on how you can provide yourself that happiness. What kind of happiness is it? Is it validation? Is it acceptance? Is it to fit in? Right? What kind of happiness is this? And how can I provide it for myself rather than putting the expectation in the hands of someone else? And when they do not deliver in the way that we expect or want or desire, then we feel disappointed, let down, angry, upset, because then the dominoes get tilted over. And then all of a sudden, one by one, before we know it, we are stuck in an emotional binge and eating and drinking cycle. And it can be easy over the festive season with what more of it flying off the shelf faster and faster. So step one, what you've got to do for that is just acknowledge that you are seeking validation or happiness or joy or love or connection or authority from someone else, whatever it is that you feel, just acknowledge that, right? And step number two is just to learn how you can make yourself feel happy instead. Release that expectation that they're going to be all amazing. Thank you so much. You're the best person in the world. This food is the best person. This food is the best meal in the world, right? Of course, we all love a compliment every now and then, but to put your entire happiness in there, and especially if you know that you're an emotional eater, to put your entire happiness on someone else is unfair on them and it's unfair on you. Big tip number two is I want you to start managing your stress that doesn't involve eating. This is kind of like the same thing, right? If we take away that expectation of them reacting in a certain way, then we don't then resort in emotional eating. Stress is the same. Often we will go for food to have a break from the stress, to take a moment, to take a step back. So you need to really start looking at your stress management techniques. What am I doing? What might not be working? How I can fix this? And how can I add just a little bit more of my stress management every single day? Really important throughout Christmas. Manage your stress as best as you can. How can I outsource as well? If something is too big of a task and you're biting off too much that you can chew, then outsource. Figure out how you can reduce your stress in any way. Big top tip as well is just to start tuning into your body. You need to recognize your hunger and you need to recognize if you're stress eating, right? Stress eating, feeling peckish, eating when you're not hungry, and eating because everyone else is eating, or eating because it's just lunchtime, or eating because everyone's sat around the table and everyone's just picking. That is not eating for nourishment, that is eating for weight gain. So put as simply as possible, I want you to start tuning into your body. Recognize if you're eating for physical reasons or emotional reasons or social reasons. Because if it's social, that's not going to be where we're going to be losing weight. And finally, one of my big top tips is just don't let the food or alcohol be your perception of connection. Through the festive season, we will gather with other people. There'll be a lot of alcohol, there'll be a lot of food, but also what people will associate is the two together. Okay. So they will associate the connection, the love, the family connections, and joy and entertainment with the food or with the alcohol. But I really, really want to reiterate, folks, and this is probably one of my most this is actually, I think, one of my most important points, which I probably should have brought up at the start, is don't let the food or alcohol be the centerpiece of your attention and entertainment. You are not connecting because of the food, right? The food doesn't create a bond between you and your mum, or you and your auntie, or you and your brother, you and your cousin, you and your nan. It's not the food that actually creates that bond. Italians are probably going to go absolutely crazy on me right now because they would probably disagree. It's not the food. It's literally getting round together, all being in a good mood, right? And all talking and playing and joking and laughing with each other. It is not that the food doesn't physically connect you two or you three or you 10 together as a family. People are just sitting around food. Okay. So be extremely mindful that just because the food is finished or because you've had enough doesn't necessarily mean that the connection is going to disappear. This is often one of the underlying reasons as to why people overeat, especially at a dinner place like setting with family, is because they're worried about losing that connection. They're worried about it stopping. If the food stops or if you stop eating, the connection doesn't disappear. You keep building it. So stop when you're full and don't just wait for the food or the alcohol to be the connection, to be the glue in the family or group. As I mentioned, guys, it's 22 days till Thanksgiving, 54 days till Christmas, 61 days until New Year's. Statistically, 80 to 90% of New Year's resolutions fail. Why wait until the new year? Like I mentioned, if you sign up before December, you get an extra free month, which is around about 160 quid, which you're saving about 193 US dollars. That's a lot of money around Christmas time, right? So I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you lose weight sustainably, naturally, and effortlessly. So by just changing what you eat on a daily basis, changing a few little things in your lifestyle, that can have a huge impact on not just your weight, but your health, your immunity, and everything else. Folks, I'm going to love you and leave you. I want you to keep an eye out to this group. Okay. I wasn't supposed to tell you, but I got a special little thing coming, guys. I got something special coming for you. Keep your eyes peeled in this group because if you've ever wanted coaching, weight loss, improving your health, improving your energy, improving your hormones, please stay tuned. I've got something super freaking exciting coming up soon, but I'm not going to tell you for another week. Alrighty, take care. Much love, and I will see you soon. Bye.